I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. The glinting skyline of New York formed the perfect backdrop for the business gala that my wife, Elena, and I attended that chilly November evening. A gathering of industry leaders, the event was an essential pit stop for anyone who craved success and recognition. As a burgeoning tech entrepreneur, I had high hopes riding on the connections I could forge tonight. Elena, stunning in a sapphire gown that complemented her ivory complexion, was the perfect accessory to my ambitions, or so I thought. The evening commenced with the usual clinking of glasses and exchange of pleasantries. I was deep in conversation with a potential investor when I noticed Elena's frequent absences from my side. Each time she returned, her smile was a little too stretched, her eyes avoiding mine. "Networking, Alex," she whispered once, patting my arm as if to soften a blow. But her touch felt colder than usual, her demeanor distracted. As the evening wore on, I excused myself from a group lauding the virtues of blockchain to find her. That's when I saw her, standing at the grand entrance, her back to a pillar. But she wasn't alone. A man, his features obscured by the shadows, stood intimately close to her. I watched, heart sinking, as her laughter reached my ears like a distant echo of betrayal. Her hand rested on his chest, fingers playing dangerously close to his belt. Compelled by a force I couldn't resist, I approached them, my steps silent but heavy with dread. As I drew closer, the man adjusted his stance, and I recognized him, Michael, a fellow entrepreneur known for his questionable morals. "Elena," I called out, my voice sharper than I intended. The two of them turned, caught off guard. Elena's face, previously illuminated by excitement, fell into an expression of caught guilt. "Alex. We were just discussing a potential collaboration," she stammered, her voice a pitch higher than usual. Michael, smirking, nodded. "Just business, Alex. You know how it is." The rest of the night passed in a blur. My attempts to mingle felt hollow, each laugh and handshake mechanically performed while my mind replayed the scene over and over. Was this the first time? My gut screamed no. The drive back to our hotel was cloaked in silence. Elena made a few feeble attempts at casual conversation, but the air between us was thick with unspoken accusations. As soon as we reached our room, I confronted her. "Is there something you need to tell me, Elena?" Her eyes darted away before settling on mine, a mix of defiance and panic. "Alex, you're imagining things. It's nothing." But I had seen enough. I decided then, no more lies, no more deceit. I would watch her, gather proof. And when I had enough, I would act. My plan began to form, fueled by the sharp sting of betrayal. Elena had made her choice, and now, I would make mine. As I lay in bed, feigning sleep, I knew one thing for certain: our lives were about to change irrevocably. The gala was just the beginning, and the true intrigue of what lay beneath Elena's betrayals would soon unravel. The morning sun did little to warm the coldness that had settled between us. Elena, usually meticulous about her appearance, shuffled around the room with a distracted air, her usual grace replaced by a nervous energy. I sat at the edge of the bed, pretending to be engrossed in my phone while observing her through my peripheral vision. "I have a brunch meeting with the team from last night," Elena announced, her voice too casual. "Shouldn't be long." I nodded without looking up. "Sure, take your time." The door clicked shut behind her, and a palpable sense of relief washed over me. Alone, my thoughts began to race. It was time to put my plan into action. I needed evidence, something concrete to confront her with, something undeniable. I started with her laptop. Elena, ever so careful with her passwords, had left it on the dining table, probably under the assumption that I trusted her too much to ever snoop. She underestimated my resolve. Booting it up, I bypassed the login screen with a hacking tool I'd kept from my early tech days, just in case. The inbox was a minefield. Emails exchanged with Michael spanned back months, their tone casual at first then increasingly intimate. My heart pounded as I copied everything onto a USB drive. As I was about to close the laptop, a new message popped up from Michael: "Can't wait to see you tomorrow night. It'll be special, I promise." Tomorrow night. Whatever was planned, I needed to see it for myself. That evening, as Elena prepared for another meeting, I informed her of my own plans. "Got a dinner with some potential investors," I lied smoothly. "Will you be late?" she asked, a flicker of something, guilt, perhaps, crossing her features. "Not sure. You know how these things go," I replied, giving her a tight smile. Once she left, I followed her from a safe distance, my camera ready. She met Michael at a cozy restaurant, their greeting too intimate for just colleagues. I snapped several pictures, the lens capturing every damning detail. After an hour, I returned home, my mind racing with the night's revelations. The images were clear and numerous. As I uploaded them onto my computer, plotting my next move, my phone buzzed. It was Elena, texting to say she would be home late. "Don't wait up," she wrote. I stared at the screen, the words blurring before my eyes. The stage was set, the actors were in place, and the play of betrayal was reaching its climax. I had enough to confront her, to end this charade, but I needed to be strategic. Revenge, after all, is a dish best served cold, and I intended to chill it to the bone. As the night deepened and the city outside fell into a restless sleep, I planned my next moves. This was more than a personal betrayal, it was a war, and I was ready to strike. But first, I needed to see tomorrow's special event unfold. Whatever it was, it would be the final nail in the coffin of our fractured marriage. The day dragged on with the weight of impending confrontation hanging over me. I busied myself with work, though my thoughts frequently drifted to the evidence hidden securely in my desk drawer and the incriminating photos now safely stored on my cloud account. As the hours passed, my resolve hardened like steel. Late afternoon approached when I finally decided it was time. I texted Elena, my fingers surprisingly steady as I typed, "We need to talk. Tonight. It's important." Her response came quickly, a simple "okay," which did nothing to reveal her state of mind. I arranged to meet her at a quiet park near our home, a neutral place away from the prying eyes of familiar streets. As I waited beneath the aging oak trees, the autumn chill seemed to seep deeper into my bones. Elena arrived, her posture rigid and her eyes wary. "Alex, what's this about? You're scaring me." I couldn't help the bitter laugh that escaped me. "Am I?" "Because I've been scared for months, Elena. Scared of trusting my own instincts." Her face paled, lips parting slightly as if to deny, but I raised my hand to stop her. "I know about Michael. I've seen the emails, the messages. I even saw you two last night." The color drained from her face. "Alex, I can explain." "Explain? What is there to explain?" My voice rose, anger flaring as I stepped closer. "Were you ever going to tell me? Or was I just supposed to be the fool in the dark?" Elena's eyes filled with tears, her usual composure crumbling. "It's not what you think. I was going to end it. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake. A mistake that lasted months." I scoffed, feeling the sting of betrayal afresh. "I loved you, Elena. And all this time, you were lying to me, to us." She reached out, touching my arm. "I'm sorry, Alex. Truly, I am. Can we please try to fix this?" The old me might have faltered, might have given in. But the images of her with Michael, the deceit in her words over these past months, fortified my resolve. "No, Elena. It's over. I want a divorce." Her sob was a low, mournful sound that once would have torn at my heart. Now, it was just a reminder of everything lost. "Please, Alex, don't do this. It's already done, I said, pulling my arm away from her grasp. I'll send the papers tomorrow. It's better if we don't see each other again after this. Turning away from her was one of the hardest things I'd ever done, but as I walked away, a sense of liberation began to mix with the bitterness. I wasn't just walking away from Elena and her betrayal, but also toward a new chapter of my life, one where I no longer lived in the shadow of deceit. Behind me, I heard her crying, the sound growing fainter with each step I took. The park's path was dimly lit, the sunset casting long shadows ahead of me. Each step felt like a move in a chess game I had unwittingly been part of, one where I had finally declared checkmate, not to win a game, but to reclaim my life. The weeks following my declaration in the park passed in a blur of lawyers, cold exchanges, and the disassembling of a life we once shared. But as the divorce proceedings trudged on, my mind was occupied with more than just legal battles. It was weaving a darker plan, one fueled by the lingering sting of betrayal and an insatiable desire for retribution. I learned that Michael was planning a major business launch, a venture he had no doubt discussed with Elena during their secretive meetings. Information was power, and in the digital age, it was also weaponizable. I intended to use every byte of data at my disposal. With careful precision, I infiltrated Michael's company network. It was child's play, a testament to his arrogance in leaving digital doors unlocked, perhaps clouded by the same hubris that led him to believe he could steal my wife without consequence. The night before his big launch, I unleashed a meticulously crafted virus into his system, one that lay dormant until the servers kicked into high gear amidst the launch. As expected, it caused chaos, corrupting data, leaking client information, and triggering a catastrophic collapse of his presentation. But that was only the public spectacle. Privately, I made sure the fallout traced back not just to a system failure, but to insider sabotage, subtly pointing towards Elena. After all, who else had access and a motive to see Michael fail? The breadcrumbs were laid so delicately that even Elena's protests would seem a desperate attempt to cover her tracks. On the night of the launch, I watched from afar as Michael's world crumbled. The media frenzy was merciless, the business community unforgiving. Elena, caught in the crossfire, tried to reach out to me one last time. I agreed to meet her, not out of a desire for closure, but to witness the impact of my revenge firsthand. We met at a deserted cafe, the weight of impending finality hanging heavy in the air. Elena, I started, my voice cold and detached, did you think you could just walk away from this unscathed? She looked up, eyes red and swollen from crying. Alex, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Please, you have to believe me. I never wanted to hurt you. Maybe not, I said, leaning back in my chair. But you did. And then you chose to conspire with him. Now, both of your careers are over. Michael's business is ruined, and your reputation is shattered. Was he worth it? Alex, please, she pleaded. I'm ruined. I've lost everything. Isn't that enough? It's a start, I said flatly. As I stood to leave, Elena reached out, grabbing my arm with a desperate strength. Please, Alex. I'm sorry. I truly am. I shook off her hand, stepping back. Sorry doesn't change what you did. I'll see you in court. With that, I turned and walked away, leaving her there amidst the shambles of her choices. As I merged into the bustling street crowd, the last vestiges of the life I had known with Elena faded into the background. Ahead lay a path defined by my terms, my justice, a life where betrayal was neither forgotten nor forgiven. And as I disappeared into the night, the cool air didn't seem so bitter anymore. Instead, it was a refreshing reminder that in the end, I had orchestrated a masterful revenge, leaving nothing but scorched earth in my wake.